You're listening to the 2400 Block Podcast with Jonnyroobs.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of a 2400 Block Podcast here. This is Jonnyroobs, and I am in a park where there's not too many cars. So that way I will not get into anybody's attention. Well, it is a very cloudy day. The sun is trying to peer through the clouds here in lovely Naperville. And I'm over here in my car. Yeah, I'm over here in my car right now just talking to you guys, doing this episode, and I've got about 30 minutes to kill right now. How are you guys doing? Hopefully all of you are doing well. By the way, I'm not sure if you checked this one out, but the other day, I was able to have a podcast with my friend, Jonathan, who, of course, is JoJo. And it turns out that the episode that we made together, it did pretty well, considering it had the highest play count. And it was going against all the other episodes that bested it. But in a singles day record, it looks like everybody just loved JoJo. And I'm glad that it's gotten attention. It's good to know he is featured. So, yeah, I definitely got to give props to JoJo, and not just being a good friend, but also one of the best personalities that I have gotten to interview on the podcast. And the trend will continue. I'm not so sure when my podcast is going to be having a mid-season break. I'm assuming it could be between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I don't think we'll break for too long. I like to keep it going. I was expecting less episodes than usual. I was thinking on the lines of about 15 maybe, because we're at that point right now. I'm on episode 16. And from how it looks like right now, because of the high demand of prospective guests, it looks like it is going to be, I think, just looking at the numbers now and just looking at the rate it's going, I say we'll probably accomplish between 30 to 35 episodes for just this season alone. I mean, compare that with the first season of my show, which was about 13 episodes. I mean, that's not bad for it to launch. During that time, it was a very trying time. It was the pandemic, and it was very hard. And I mean, so much was going on, like what was on our minds, what was going to happen. But now it turns out that things are already back to normal, and the things that we had in our minds, all that paranoia, all that fear of what was going to happen, we just try to make this a really good podcast to begin with my friends who were able to anchor with me during the first year, second year, and we just wanted to just talk about something that can just make us to get that sense of normalcy again. So, and it gotten there, and I'm glad that now this podcast has taken on new heights. I went a little over the budget than what I wanted to. I just want to up my game, and the season right now is actually is showing that it is, and I am just so pleased with the results so far, the hype, the attention that it's getting. So yeah, I don't know what next season will bring, But what I can tell you right now, I just have all these equipment and software that I have right now that I'm relying on. I am not like other podcasts right now who have a lot of funds, a lot of backing. I'm not like that right now. I'm still using the same equipment that I've been using for about 3 going on 4 years now. And I'm satisfied. It's getting the word out. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what kind of equipment I want to brag, I want to show. No, it's not about that. It's not even about the background that's showing in the studio. It's not even about that. It's about just getting the word out, getting to talk with guests, getting to share topics. So it's definitely all the basics. I know advertising is definitely the thing, the best tool right now for any podcaster, but I don't have any master class of that right now. I'm not one of those podcasters that like to advertise that right now because I'm nowhere near that. And I am just talking to you guys directly on the mic. I got nothing going on. I'm not even making money with these episodes. The one that hosted the previous seasons, which was Anchor, now it's Podcasters by Spotify or Podcasters for Spotify. I forgot now. They seem to have done away with those advertisements and want instead podcasters like me to do a subscription-based type. I do not have any advertisements on me right now. I wish I did, but who knows? One of these days, perhaps, maybe that opportunity will come about. In this part of life, anything is possible. I mean, there were even times in my life where things seemed impossible, but all of a sudden, some way, somehow, a miracle popped up. So I can probably say the same thing for this. So yes, my podcast will keep going. My podcast will still use the same type of equipment, this type of software. And I just want to see where it will go. I'm glad that it's gotten the attention on YouTube. I'm glad that this podcast has finally went out on video. Well, besides hearing me right now doing this audio episode here in the park, you will not see me. You will only hear me. No, I'm not looking all that great right now. I'm just like in my sweats and wearing a t-shirt right now in my car talking to you. Okay, you guys are probably wondering what type of sneakers I'm wearing right now. Well, it turns out I am wearing the Air Max 90. It's such an attractive shoe that even people notice it when I'm walking. Well, nobody can see me here in the park with it because I'm actually sitting inside my car making this podcast right now for you guys. All right, so all that aside now with my podcast, what do I want to talk about today? Well, it's all about see, I'm paused now. This is the part where I should be editing, but no, I'm not going to edit. But something's been on my mind, folks, and it's this. It's about being valued, being recognized, not being invisible, seen as one of the equals. I've been finding that for most of my life here in the States. Ever since I moved to the States in 1980 or 81, I forgot now. That's how it is when you have a bad memory. Ever since I went to school, I started having that sense of insecurity, that the way these students have treated me. And I somehow just drifted off to another world, a world of imagination, because it just seemed like the real world wasn't really treating me well. And from there, I just started daydreaming. I didn't pay no attention. I just started drawing, and that was like the ultimate escape. And it's been like that for the last few years or so. And when I carried it on to high school, it got even tougher. And let me backtrack a little bit here. Besides high school, the middle school years were tough as well. And I've always tried to fit in. I mean, there are a few friends. Thank goodness there were a few friends out there that were willing to know that I exist, that are willing to accept me. But I know that they were popular too, that I wasn't able to spend that much time with them. I stayed home for the most part with my brothers. And we were in our own worlds. Well, we were in our own world. Okay, that's more like it now. And we mainly just watched television. We listened to radio. We watched MTV. We did all of that. We had mad fun, although we stayed at home for the most part. And then we also chilled with the neighbor. He was really cool too. And then there were other kids around the neighborhood. Yes, that is the 2400 block. That is the inspiration for my podcast. By the way, if anyone's wondering what the 2400 block was or is, 2400 block was where I grew up. The 2400 block is a podcast name, a name that I came up with. There was no name before it. It has always been the 2400 block podcast. And yeah, I just thought about that as soon as I got my podcasting equipment consisting of a device. It's like a deck along with 2 microphones and 2 headphones. Yeah, the 2400 block came about. But going to the situation again here. Yeah, it's been tough growing up, not being recognized too much. And I'm glad there were a select few of good friends out there that knew I existed, that I was there. And I did the same for them. I let them know that I'm alive. I'm so lively. But it just seems that I was very reserved. If I was to ask any of my friends who knew me back in the elementary, back in the middle school days, back in the high school days, they would all say the same thing. John Eric's a cool guy, but he's been so quiet. He's too quiet. Yeah, he did a lot of good things in class, but many of them would say he is too quiet. And they are right. They are correct. There's no denying. I won't deny it. Being reserved, to me, in some ways it's a blessing. In some ways it's like a curse because it's ongoing. But it kept... See, there you go. I'm burping. I'm about to burp on this podcast here. I didn't even eat yet. What is making me burp? I can't believe this is probably like my first burp. I'm not eating anything. I'm actually drinking water. But I wonder what prompted me to burp. But yes, as I was saying, the sense of insecurity, which led me to being reserved, I think of it as a blessing because it made me so aware. I was always observant. I didn't join something too quick or jumped into something too quick. No, I always was hesitant. I was always the kind of guy that held back, that wanted to know to know what I was getting into. So I was that kind of guy. Fast forward now, I've gotten older. Life went very fast. I've had friends here and there. I've also made friends with the community. I made friends in church. And yeah, even in spite of all of that, I was able to just remain the same. I try to be, you know, the model citizen. Although life seemed lonely at times, although I've had my struggles to adjust with society because people were different from me and I always held back. There were even times I wanted to do good things for people and still do to this very day. I do good things for people because I love to see them do good. I like for that to make my life happy. And some people have been wondering why I do these things. It's unexplainable. It's because mommy raised me well. It's because mommy taught me how to care about people. And of course, my work with the community. That doesn't even have to be mentioned because I do it all by action. I don't go out there and brag about things. I just do it. And I do it humbly. I don't go out there and be a show off. Nah, it's never been that way. It never was. And yeah, even in spite of doing so many good things, I'm still invisible to many. And that's what hurts. I'm not sure if any of you out there listening have been facing this type of situation. Maybe it just happens to, a person like myself out of maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of millions of people. I'm probably like maybe one out of those that are affected. Even me having this podcast right now, I love it. I love the attention that it's gotten, but I'm still in the same boat. However, as I have gotten older, I've gotten used to it. Life has slowed down. I don't have that many friends anymore. I'm already at that point now. I'm 49, going on 50, and yes, life is slowing down, and yes, I have a lot of time by myself. I don't have people calling me. I don't have people texting me as often. I'm in a relationship. I am friends with certain people here in the Illinois area. I worked at this one job and I've always put on this happy face. This face that everybody sees all the time. That sees me happy. And I love to keep that going. Although at times I can't. I wish people had the chance to know me more. But it seems like this is the life I have. And that I have to accept this part of my life. I'm not so sure when my end will be. But I would like to work my very best to everyone out there, anyone I interact with, whether it's on social media or in person. I will do my best to be there, to give my support, to be what a real friend should be, pretty much. Sometimes some people don't have a tendency to be real with me. Oh yeah, let's go there. Some people just can't be real with me. People say things. People say, "Oh, John, let's do this, let's do that." And then when you need them, man, it's tough when people don't say what they mean. They say these words to make you believe in it. But no, they just make a fool out of themselves to you. So you're not the fool. It's them. So right now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, the you is implying is being in my situation. Imagine you being in my shoes and you're facing that. I just hate fake people. I'm sorry to say it, but yeah, I just hate fake people. I would rather take someone who's honest with me and say, John, I don't want to hang out with you. I don't have the time. I like you, John, but you're just too much. John, you put in too much. John, you've done too much for me. I don't need you anymore. John, just get out of my life. People should be honest like that. People should say it that way. That way, I can move on. It hurts me when people take advantage of my kindness. Sucks. It sucks so bad. It really does. And there are some times I think about it all the time. Yeah, I take these to heart, man. Sometimes it took like a few months to recover. And I'm glad even a friend can go up there and rescue me from these thoughts, from what I want to do to myself in a bad way. Some people don't know because I don't tell them. But now, guys, I'm telling you, I'm glad to be doing this audio podcast. I'm glad to get the word out. I feel for you, whoever's listening to this, that's facing the same similar situation about being accepted and just feeling invisible, being left out, having that sense of insecurity, having to be hesitant, having to fall back a little bit and just observe what's going on. I feel you guys. I really do. I wish I could even hang out with you right now, take this time to sit with you, take this time to just fellowship with you. I wish I can do that. But I'm nowhere near you guys, unless if you're in Illinois, of course, and wanting to listen to me. Yeah, we got time here. I got time. But I'm glad to be making this podcast known. I'm glad to be talking on an audio podcast again. I'm glad to be holding the mic. I would rather be doing this than being on the camera. But I got to promote the podcast. I got to do these, one-on-one interviews, which are fun to do. But sometimes talking about a certain topic and just sitting here in the park, sitting in the car at a park and just looking at these clouds, looking at the trees moving because of the wind, I find this inspirational. I find this to be like the fortress of solitude, like where Superman hangs out, like that. I love just seeing an open soccer field out here and just a few people walking here and there just to enjoy their afternoon without having to go on their phones. I would love to see kids just playing basketball or any other type of sport that just takes them away, take their minds away from all that stuff on social media. So I see cars are piling in now. It looks like my time here will be done really soon. I'm glad to take the time to talk to you guys off location as I'm somewhere now and I'm not in the studio. I'm not sure if you can hear the winds going. I kind of cracked my window open here. So, yeah. This is another episode. One for the records, one for the books, actually. It's Roobs Got This, and we're talking about you know, being isolated, being alone, being left out, not being recognized, feeling invisible. This is pretty much the thing I would love to talk with people in the times ahead. This has been going off and on. I don't know if you've been hearing it on my past episodes, whether it's on audio or whether it's on video. I talk about it all the time, either by myself or talking it with a couple of guests. Yes, I'm still facing this dilemma. It's something that can't be gone so easily. It doesn't take just this one episode to air it all out. No, it's a thing that's ongoing. It's a thing I have to deal with. It's a thing I have to accept fully, and to be helpful to those that are facing this same battle. I'm not lucky. I'm still facing this. I'm still dealing with this head on. Who knows what will happen next? Hopefully it's nothing negative. It's just something that I want you guys to pay particular attention to when it comes to me. I love the 2400 Block podcast. I love sharing topics with people. I love having a conversation. It's like the greatest form of therapy, podcasting. I love it so much. I'm not going to make like really big money out of it, but it's a great hobby that I love to continue forever and ever, as long as it can go on. And I'm always happy to just give the word out. And yeah, man, it's been a tough road for me. It's been a tough road. Now, I'm not exactly so sure what the next episode will bring for Roobs Got This, but I hope it'll be as interesting as they come, just like the previous audio episodes that I've had in the past few seasons. We're going to deal more with real life issues, bring things up to the forefront, and we'll tackle all the stuff that's going on in our lives. Okay, before I leave here, I'm already approaching the 28 mark of my video. I mean, audio. There you go. I made a mistake. I said video. Before I make an exit here, I would like to let you know that the 2400 Block podcast is an entity consisting of me and certain guests, and we love to talk about anything off the table. A lot of people ask me, what is your podcast all about? Anything. Imagine you being a 10-year-old like I was, living on the 2400 block, getting to know people, talk with people, hear what they're saying, and they're sharing their interest with you, which is like a podcast topic today. And you're just learning based on factual information as well as hearing their testimonial. So that is what the 2400 block is really all about. So moving forward, most of the podcast interviews will be mainly on video, while tackling on real life issues will probably go forth here with the audio format. So I look forward to speaking to you guys with every episode that comes. 30 minutes. That's not bad at all. I actually like this. Okay, guys, I have to get going. It's a Wednesday afternoon. The sun is now shining through the clouds, and it's time for me to haul ass. All right, guys, take it easy. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Roobs Got This. Thank you.